So, but that's it for me.
Well, one organization's been impressing me lately, and this is 1 Million Moms Against Gun Control. Their website is 1mmagc.com. And these are women, from every state sort of getting involved, and they've got a Facebook page for each state. So, look up the Facebook page in your state if you're listening, if you're a lady or just a guy that wants to like their page. It's really good to get these people involved. And a lot of moms they're more independent than you think, and they're not government subjects. And, moms are great to have on the team. And then you can check us out at twowayfriendly.com, and our shout out would be to all the businesses that are Second Amendment friendly. Thanks everybody, for allowing the legal gun owners to carry in your store. That's greatly appreciated. And gun owners use the app that we have. It's a free app, and they will see it on the map, and they'll go to your store because it has a green flag on it. So that's really what we're hoping for. We're fairly new, but we want to get it rolling across the country real quick here. So,
Warren, I just downloaded your app today.
Thanks, man.
Sorry.
Let me know how it goes.
I love it. I'll definitely be using it and putting some info in there for you for the local businesses.
Yeah,
and we've got a search tool too. So.
Yeah, I downloaded it and I started putting stuff in for Savannah. I don't really know the users in Savannah, but there wasn't a whole lot of information for Savannah, Georgia. So, but I definitely went ahead and marked down all the movie theaters as anti-gun, and the Oglethorpe Mall and Savannah anti-gun. But the Savannah Mall, surprisingly, with Bass Pro Shops, is pro-gun. It's kind of weird.
That's amazing. Most malls aren't. I mean, so a little bit about it. We would like to have giveaways and things in the future. We're just not there yet, but we're keeping track. When you rate businesses, you get points. So we're hoping to get an interactive thing going where people want to be involved and care enough to rate these businesses.
That's awesome. Hey, Victor, you got any shout-outs you want to do other than posting giant pictures of,
hunting
crazy,
trips?
Crazy hunting trips?
No, that's good. I was just looking at the it's quite the animal. No, it's not really a shout out. It's kind of a sad little story. I'm looking at the Second Age Friendly app, and I'm like the only person in the United States that doesn't have a smartphone. But I'm also one of the few people in the United States that doesn't have the NSA loading a program into their smartphone either. So.
They can still listen to you over the cell towers.
The post office is monitoring your mail, so you're fine.
Well,
I got a funny story about that when we get to it.
You always got to watch out for those intel guys. But no shout outs. I'm just taking notes as y'all are doing all the shout outs. So just keep them coming.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I want to talk about the post office right quick. I've got a buddy that was hand loading some ammo, and he wasn't selling it. You'd pay for the the materials, and then he'd send it to you through the mail. He got a pretty hefty fine the other day from the EPA, and because they X-rayed his boxes, and they were full of lead and explosive materials. Even though they were sealed in an 11 mil thick plastic, vacuum sealed bag, and put in an ultra thick box, the way that they were supposed to be packaged before. I guess they came up with some new rule. So we know they're monitoring the mail, and they're looking for people sending ammunition through the mail specifically. It's pretty bad because. He sent 300 rounds to Mississippi for a friend of mine, and she didn't get any ammo, and he's not getting any of it back until he pays his fines.
Oh, no.
Wow.
Yeah,
so,
it's you really have to tread kind of carefully through that. The U.S. Postal Service, shipping ammo through the U.S. Postal Service is prohibited. And then if you go, UPS and FedEx, you have to label it as a hazardous material.
Yeah.
Well, I actually posted a story on Monday about the U.S. Postal Service that they're logging mail for gun-related items. They actually keep track, and the story is blocked out. It was on the New York Times, but it was a letter was delivered, and it actually had a note attached to it regarding the receipt of the package by the person that was supposed to be passed along to their supervisors. I actually absolutely believe this. I had received some gear, was promised some shirts from a website called Warrior Culture Gear. They were going to send me some out just so I could post some pictures online on my page for them. And the package was rejected 3 times. And every time he went down to the post office, the person that runs the company got into an argument twice, and once had to talk to the supervisor with a postal worker who knew what the company was. He knew what kind of products he was promoting, shirts with guns and gun rights slogans on them. And he did not agree with it. The worst part of it was that the Postal Service worker was a veteran. But he was deliberately kicking the mail back to him, and he got fired. The supervisor had to, once a complaint was logged and they investigated, they did fire him. But I've talked to quite a few purveyors of gun-related items, not necessarily ammo, but gear for rifles, for ARs that's legal to send through, and they have issues with the postal workers, giving them a headache or kicking problems and losing packages. It's kind of sad that our postal services, it seems like every entity of the government has got its tentacles out for people that are going against the grain right now, the 3%ers, as we like to say.
And how are we going against the grain? By doing exactly what we're allowed to do and thought to be able to do to Americans.
Because right now the government's idea of the grain is believing what they say, doing what they want. And obviously, I mean, it's pervasive. Obviously, the Postal Service, the IRS, the NSA, you name it, and they're going after the conservative, independent American thought process, and it's sad because they don't like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's happening. We have a government that doesn't. Go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I just on Shooter's Rest Radio, I just posted a link to the story he was talking about, where the U.S. Postal Service is photographing the face of every letter and package that comes through the U.S. Postal Service for future use and investigation and all that. So anyway, I threw that out there. If anybody listening wants to go to the Shooter's Rest Radio on Facebook and take a look at the story.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Yeah, well, I think I put it out earlier. Kind of one of the reasons why I decided to start the radio show to begin with is because I already knew they were listening. Might as well have everybody listen at the same time, so there's nothing incriminating. But it is kind of worrisome that every major page that I've been looking at on Facebook, not everyone, but a lot of the major pages that, are pretty big, like Uncle Sam's Misguided Children got shut down yesterday and then were allowed back on, by the end of the night, because of their content. But then you can go and you can find all these other, anti-gun pages, advocating tons of violence towards us as gun owners. They won't touch them.
Exactly. Yeah, that you guys might have heard this, but I think a couple months ago that happened to the web page or the Facebook page called Chicks on the Right. They actually got it sorted out. I mean, they're not as big as the other one. They've got like 165,000 likes, but their page got killed because of a bunch of basically lefties, spamming it with complaints. And then they actually, I think Hannity mentioned it, and then they got in contact with someone on Facebook who said something to the effect of, well, it's our procedure and it was a mistake, and we undid it for you. So
yeah,
it happens, but thankfully it's been undone.
Yeah, that was a CYA.
Just a few months ago, AR-15 News was also taken down. I don't know if y'all remember that.
Yeah, 556 Tactical.
Yeah, but at the same point, you see crazy pages like Kill Zimmerman and, hatred from the left, and it seems like nothing's happening to those pages, and it's, we need a conservative alternative to Facebook, obviously.
Yeah.
Oh, we have them.
Well,
there's ShootersLegion.com. There's ShootersOffice.com. They're all just like Facebook, except for you're not reaching as many people, except for, just not nearly enough people on them to actually be using them. I have my sites there, but when you're reaching only 6 people and everybody's like-minded, you're not really reaching the target audience to try to persuade people to come and, listen to what you're saying.
Yeah.
Right.
Well,
I agree.
It's kind of a dirty game. You got to go where the people are.
You're right. You got to, and I had a gentleman when I posted that story today about those knuckleheads up in New York that are going to release more information about gun owners. Someone actually commented, and I'm actually opening it while I'm talking to you, that he actually said, "I'm anti-gun, but this is really stupid for them to do it." Of course, it prompted my response that, this is a Second Amendment page. If you hate guns, why the hell are you on this page? And actually, it was the first time I heard a liberal say, or someone that I consider liberal, he didn't identify himself as such, but he actually responded because I like to study both sides of the debate instead of being told what I should or shouldn't believe by the media. Just because I don't like guns doesn't mean I fault anyone else for it as long as they're responsible. So he's actually on this page looking for information and looking for the other side of the story, which is kind of cool that I do occasionally reach people like that. It makes me happy.
Yeah.
To convert a liberal to save them.
Yes, save
Even
them
if you
from
don't
themselves.
convert them, just expose them to some reality. The other side. It's good for them.
Absolutely.
Who knows what will happen in the future.
I have a standing rule on my page. I don't ban anybody. I welcome the debate. If they go malicious or racist, 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out. I haven't had to ban anybody yet. Usually I make the case in point, and hey, you got to be respectful. There's nothing racial about, firearms page. And
right.
Generally it's been respected. We've had some good debates, and we've had a couple not so good debates, especially with the Zimmerman trial posts, but I'm not going to ban
the people.
somebody.
I ban the trolls, the ones that are specifically coming there to instigate arguments. Just, that you can find them right away. They just come in and start calling names and just being totally disrespectful. And I give them an opportunity, but I have no problem banning someone when they're coming in. I'm absolutely open to honest, good, heated, spirited debate. But the trolls that come in that they want to cause trouble and just instigate people, they're the ones I kick out because it's just not even worth the time. They're already brainwashed by this administration or whatever, liberal put them in those mindsets. So it's hopeless to have them in there, or pointless, excuse me.
Maybe my page is small to really for the trolls to really worry about yet. So maybe that'll come.
The bigger you get, the more you get. I didn't have any problems with them until about a year and a half ago when I hit the 25,000 marks, probably somewhere around then. That's when I started getting them.
It's a badge of honor.
It is. Sometimes it's fun. Sometimes they kind of, in the morning when I'm working, because I work from home, so I'll be working at the same time that I'm keeping an eye on the page, making sure people aren't posting stuff they shouldn't, and it's almost as good as a cup of coffee when it to wake you up.
Yeah.
Yeah. I go through and I read a lot of them, so it gets pretty funny.
You must be doing something right then. I've heard that for some groups that got banned from Facebook that, if you haven't been banned yet, you just got to keep working at it.
Absolutely.
Well, I think it's one of those things that just goes with the territory when you start getting successful and get